All right, let's take you back to the city of Joburg. One of our top stories, the newly elected Johannesburg Mayor Mpho Phalatse has announced her mayoral committee. The DA has been criticized in the last few days that it's been over a month since municipal elections and Gauteng's big metros still didn't have mayoral committees. eNCA journalist Govan Whittles is joining us now with an update, and he is joined by the mayor of Joburg, that is Mpho Phalatse. So finally, Govan, city of Joburg done and dusted. Now we await what will come through from the capital in Tshwane. But I believe Mpho Phalatse is yielding in terms of that conversation, not trying to enter the fray in terms of the politics of the formation of the coalition governments, just happy to be able to be up and running.
She walked a fine line in her announcement of the MMCs a little bit earlier right here at the Johannesburg Council, Tilasizwe. And some surprises, Herman Mashaba, John Moody, not in the Johannesburg mayoral committee. And we will be seeing Funzela Ngobeni. Remember, he's the former chief whip of the Democratic Alliance that was in that coalition council, which Mpho Phalatse was in as well. He's with the DA now, and he'll be leading Action SA's delegation in the council. David Tembe as well, the former Johannesburg Metro Police Department chief, who had left over after a long dispute about his appointment and joined Action SA. He's back as the head of public safety. Herman Mashaba has already briefly reacted to that, saying they're very proud of what they've achieved in those negotiations. And of course, it's not over. Tshwane still has to be announced, and there we also expect Action SA to take important portfolios. Let's talk to the mayor of Johannesburg now, Dr. Mpho Phalatse. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. So you've got a mayoral committee here. You've said that you have a majority government which represents 136 seats in council, which is 50% plus one. How did you pull it off?
It hasn't been easy. We all came into the negotiations with our wish lists. Those wish lists were informed by our caucuses. Various caucuses wanted some of the same portfolios for different reasons. We really had to do a lot of bargaining. We had to do a lot of compromising across the board. Lots of concessions were given by all the various parties. I'm really excited that we finally at this point. At some point, it didn't look like we would get to this point. It says to me there's hope for South Africa. And I believe that what we will do with this multi-party government here in Johannesburg will serve as an example to the rest of the country as to what is possible under coalition governance, as we believe 2024 will probably look the same.
It's a 10-party coalition government. In Nelson Mandela Bay, Helen Zille had said that she doesn't know how Eugene Johnson will run an 8-party coalition, and that she had great difficulty running a 7-party coalition in the city of Cape Town. How are you feeling about the daunting prospects of running this coalition government?
In fact, Helen said to me, if I pull this off, she will personally nominate me for a Nobel Prize. So it is quite a daunting task. But fortunately, I think we're in a fortunate position in that I know many of the councillors. It's only the ACDB councillor that is new, but I know him, a very decent, pleasant man. I believe we're going to work well together. I know the Freedom Front Plus councillor. He's worked with us over the last 5 years. He was chairperson for economic development. I know the IFP councillor, Councillor Mabasa, has also been a councillor, became MMC for housing. So I think that's the plus. And even within Action SA, I worked with Funzi as a fellow MMC. I worked with former Chief Tembe, former Chief of Police. We had a great relationship. So those relationships will come into this. I'm really grateful that, you know, it's not all new people, that we may have 1 or 2 new people, but the 1 or 2 new people are really amazing people. So I believe we will make this work.
Let's talk about the parties. There's the ACDP in the mayoral committee, the IFP, the Democratic Alliance, and Action SA. You said there's a 10-party coalition. Who are the other 6 parties?
Well, I'm leaving that announcement to the Coalition Negotiations Committee, which will be briefing the media soon. They're just concluding the signing of the coalition agreement with all the metros in Gauteng, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, and Johannesburg. Very exciting breakthrough indeed for our residents.
And, of course, some of those parties would get positions as chairpersons of committees, of oversight committees. Those are also coveted positions. Before I let you go, Mayor, we do understand as eNCA that in those negotiations, a thorny topic has come up, a request for the deputy mayorship to be created in the city, coming from Action SA. What's your comment?
Well, I mean, that is not up to Johannesburg only. It's a protracted process that includes even the MEC for COCTA. So that is something that obviously there is no such position in the city at the moment. That process would have to start, and it will be up to the powers that be on whether it materializes or not.
Thank you so much. That's Mayor Dr. Mpho Phalatse, also confirming that was an issue. Action SA has asked for the deputy mayorship to be created in Johannesburg. It's still a sticking point, and we're sure to get some details about it when the multi-party coalition committee briefs us. We're expecting it today, Thulasizwe, but as we've seen from last week, anything can happen in a few hours and then delays can set in. So for now, we'll keep our ear to the ground. It's back to you.
Thank you for that. The very latest coming through there in as far as those negotiations and the formation of the mayoral committees is concerned with eNCA's Govan Whittles. He was in conversation with the mayor of the city of Joburg, Mpho Phalatse, who says that she's been told by Helen Zille that if she pulls this off, leading successfully a 10-party coalition arrangement in Johannesburg, Helen Zille will nominate Mpho Phalatse for the Nobel Prize. I can tell you, it does seem like a daunting task. Let's see how they pull it off in the coming months and years.